3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading, in particular, mystery reading at number 1031. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and to stick around, welcome. And thank you very much for your support, as well as your presence during this reading. So, starting with interpreting the number 1031. The number 1 is a sign or a message to trust yourself. And there are 2 ones in 1031. For, to be a little more specific for whoever needs the message, trust in what you feel called to do when it comes to how, when, or even if you should use your voice, whether it's in a specific situation or just in general. Regardless of what you're going through or what this reading is about, it's important that you trust yourself. You listen to your intuition and what your inner voice is really trying to tell you and where it's trying to guide you. I feel like there's something important here about an inner compass, trusting your own inner compass, your own decisions, your own feelings and beliefs, especially if you are an honest person. I would assume that you are safe to trust your own perception and your own judgment. I believe that when we are not honest with ourselves, primarily, or those around us in general, we are not seeing things clearly. And so we can't make decisions that are truly aligned with who we really are, what we really want, what we really need, or really deserve. Being honest isn't just about doing the right thing. It's about seeing what the right thing is. Whether it's about morals or what's right for you and your future. It's very important that you're honest with yourself. Naturally, when you are honest with yourself, you will be honest with other people and in other situations. So just make sure you're not telling yourself lies about your own worth and value and what you're capable of and what is possible for you. You and the universe co-create in this life. I feel that the universe is always working in our favor, but if we don't choose that for ourselves, what the universe does, it can have a positive impact, but it's nowhere near as strong as if you're also involved. Nowhere near as strong. Number 0 is about cycles, maybe patterns. This could be a message for you to pay attention to the messages, the signs, the synchronicities that you receive, whether it comes from your own intuition, from your interpretation with your own life, your own reality, your own readings, or in any reading that you receive. Pay attention. especially with how your intuition resonates with the signs or the messages. There is this one reader, her channel's name is The Hermit Tarot, and she talks about how she likes to keep a notebook, like while she's watching reading, so she can note down what resonates, so she can filter out noise, and maybe that could be helpful for you too. I've done it before, and she's not wrong. It can be helpful. But yeah, trust yourself and pay attention. The number 0 can also be a reminder that no matter what journey outside of you, relationships, job, projects, whatever, no matter what journeys outside of you are happening, the one with yourself, within yourself, is always running parallel to these journeys. And it's important to know when to put yourself in that journey, that relationship with yourself first, and when to put the other things on the back burner. The love for yourself should always come before anything else. The love and respect for yourself and what you deserve, especially from yourself. You deserve to have your own back, to have a positive, supportive, and healthy relationship with yourself. None of us deserve to be our own worst enemy and sabotage our own future. None of us deserve to be the reason we are unhappy. Not when we have control over our own mind, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And of course, not all feelings you have control over, but you do have control over how you move forward from them or with them, depending if you let them go or turn them into something else, maybe as fuel and motivation for something else. But that control that you have over yourself is so important to recognize and respect, especially if you are really wanting the world to be a better, safer, more secure, stable, and supportive place. Change starts with you. The last number, the number 3, is about communication, self-expression. And this could be about communicating with yourself, being very aware of your own inner world and who you really are, the way that you think, what creates certain feelings, just really being aware of what's going on the inside, your own belief system and how it works for you and against you. And when I say belief system, I don't just mean religiously. I believe that we are always forming beliefs about life based on our own experiences, and it's important for us to be consciously aware of that so we can have more control over the beliefs, how we choose to believe, or what we choose to believe about our experiences, and how they will lead us moving forward. This could also be about communicating with someone else. It could be about art, just some form of communication in some way. Either about better understanding yourself, the world, or another person or other people. This number is about, it's also about healing and growing. That's just confirmation there for those of you who are really genuinely trying to heal that relationship with yourself, and you're really trying to grow and evolve into the best version of yourself. The work that you are doing is so incredibly important. I really can't say that enough, because change really does start with you because of how connected we all are. If you aren't aware of it, I really, really encourage you to look up the ripple effect and really reflect on what that means energetically. If it doesn't already explain it that way. I'm going off intuition. But the last way that I interpret the number 3 is about commitment. Again, this feels like a reminder to put that commitment to yourself first, or it's a message encouraging you to consciously make a commitment to yourself and your worth, your well-being, everything that you deserve from yourself, with the relationship with yourself. And this could also be about any commitments outside of yourself too. So you just take that however it resonates for you, if it does at all. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, which I perceive as change and transformation. It's really reminding me of how I've been saying during this reading that change starts with you. It really does feel like you are being encouraged to make positive changes within yourself, with the relationship with yourself, as well as within your own life, so you can have a positive impact on those around you. You really do matter. I know that it can seem like you don't, because there's so many of us, but people do care about how you treat them, how you affect them. They do care. But they also care about you, how you treat and affect yourself. You're not alone in this. You deserve to see and feel how truly and deeply connected we all are. And the only person who's going to reveal that to you is yourself, through your own healing, your own spiritual journey, and what it means to learn to trust yourself. Moving into the cards now, I'm going to start with drawing out just a couple of cards from the Magical Dogs Tarot. We're going to get some more information on what these numbers are really about. What's significant about your intuition, your voice? I have the Knight of Swords, and I kept wanting to say the King of Swords, which did come out in the previous reading. If you feel called to that one, I encourage you to watch it, but of course, only if you feel called to. The King of Swords in reverse. Honestly, this card can sometimes be a warning card for me. It feels like you might be trying to rush through something too fast. And it really is okay to want something so badly, but not so much to the point that it's psychologically or physically damaging. Be careful not to push yourself too hard or too far. In that last reading, there was talk about having a balance between work and play. Be aware of getting burnt out. And this doesn't even have to be you. Someone else who is trying to move things too fast and it's making you uncomfortable. Whether it's you or someone else trying to move too fast, it feels like it's making you uncomfortable. It could be stressing you out. And you gotta acknowledge that and protect yourself from yourself or this person. Especially if you're trying to commit to something long term, pacing yourself is important to help you stay committed. Yeah. I have the Four of Pentacles. The number 4 is connected to ancestors and stability. That previous reading, all of those numbers in 1030, they added up to 4, and there was a lot of talk about ancestors and stability. I feel like there's definitely something here that your ancestors in particular want you to let go. It feels like there's maybe something or someone here or something going on within you that makes you feel unsafe or insecure. The Four of Pentacles can also be about protecting and guarding your resources. Yeah. This could be a very clear message to protect yourself from being taken advantage of by somebody else. Make sure you're able to take care of yourself and treat yourself, like especially if you're a hardworking person. The only person who gets to decide what sacrifices you make is you. Very much so. Know when to say no, know when to say yes. Don't be a yes man, but don't be too greedy. There might need to be a balance here, more of a balance, between being selfish and being generous. And those are neutral words in this reading. Being selfish inherently isn't bad, just as being generous inherently isn't good. It's really all about motive. Why do you want to be more selfish, or why do you want to be more generous, or why does somebody else want to be more selfish or generous? This brings me back to the number 3, talking about communication and self-expression. Really explore and be aware of your own intentions and that of those around you. It really does make sense to have ancestors in a reading about protection, because I feel out of all spiritual beings, it would make sense to me that they are the ones who most want you to be safe and secure. So this could very much be a warning reading for somebody to protect yourself and your resources, your time, your energy, whether it's, having expectations that are too high on yourself, or somebody that is expecting too much from you, or a situation that is expecting too much from you. There's somebody in this energy who doesn't need to feel guilty for saying no and deserves to have their boundaries, their choices respected. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up this reading by drawing out one last card. I'll probably draw out a deck of cards from this box, and then I'll draw one card from that deck. So let's see what wants to come through for you about this eager energy and the need to protect oneself. Curious to see how revealing this card may or may not be. Okay. Okay, so we have song lyrics. Just saw the number 456 on the timer, which is about trusting that everything happens for a reason. I also just got another strong message to trust yourself. It feels like there's something in this card that is intuitively resonant for you, and it's important for you to pay attention to it. The first thing I want to talk about is how there is the number 26 on this card as well. 2 plus 6 is 8, which is about loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. There's no need to hold on to a relationship or a situation that is not fair to you. There are other people, other opportunities that will respect and support you exactly for who you are and what you want and what you need. And I saw the number 543, another sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. There could be a situation or a person that is time to let it or them go and trust that you feel called to do that for a reason, that something is going to come out of this. Maybe you're going to learn something or gain some insight some way, somehow. Again, pay attention to your intuition. What it's trying to tell you and where it is trying to guide you. These song lyrics are from the song. It's from the song Saturdays by The Neighborhood. It says, every now and then he'd think about his life, daydreaming just to pass the time. This reflects somebody who is more about dreaming than doing. There could be a warning here about dealing with somebody with a silver tongue, saying one thing but their actions doing another. Trust what they do, not what they say. That seems relevant for this reading here. Because it's easier for people to say they are one way, and it's hard to dispute when they prove that they are really another way. Talking about one way and another way, it's really giving me this vibe of an inner compass. Is somebody sending you mixed signals? Or do you feel conflicted on the inside about what your intuition is picking up on? Give yourself some space and some time to really deeply reflect on whatever is expecting or whoever is expecting too much of you. No matter what, you deserve realistic expectations and respect. Self-respect or respect from somebody else. You deserve respect. And you deserve to be surrounded by people who mean what they say, who do what they say, or you deserve to be somebody who is like that, where you say something and you stick to it. Could be potentially important for somebody to be careful with what you say. Knowing that actions should follow, or it's dishonest. And I don't believe that dishonesty is going to give us what we want out of life. And it may seem like it, and then maybe it does work for some people for a long time, but spiritually over lifetimes, I don't think it's worth it. Like I said, know when to be selfish and know when to be generous. Know when to be firm with yourself and know when to be compassionate. It's very, very important to know how to treat yourself, because that also sets the same standard for how you treat other people or how other people will treat you.